video, unsponsored this time. So I just went hands-on with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge, the thinnest device obviously Samsung is making. So we got a tease of it at the last Unpacked. At the very end of the show, you had that whole stadium kind of go black, and then they made this little teaser, and then the hands-on area where I was like battling to get my actual footage of, that was absolutely packed at Unpacked. But I finally got to see it, actually hold it to let you know what I actually think. I compared it against the S25 Ultra, etc. So the thinness, 5.8 millimeters thin and 163 grams. It's actually the same, width as 3 toonies. For those of you in the US, that is a $2 coin that we have in Canada, which is absolutely wild for a smartphone. And when I kind of compared it against, the flagship that we have right now, the S25 Ultra, noticeably thinner. You really have to kind of hold it in hand to appreciate how thin it is. It isn't the thinnest tech device. For example, we have the iPad Pro, that is 5.1 millimeters, but the iPad Air, as reference, this is 6.1 millimeters, making the S25 Edge even thinner than this. So if you happen to have one of these kind of in hand, that's the similar thinness. And I do think it's one of the thinnest smartphones that we've seen. Really, really cool to hold. It almost makes you a little bit scared when you're carrying something that thin and like the form factor of a phone. Will you break it? Will you bend it? I'm sure there's gonna be like a Bendgate video online. Some person is going to try to bend it when they first get it. I might do it. Let me know if I should, but I'm sure Samsung has spent so much money on R&D and have gone through countless bend tests to ensure that it does not bend. But yeah, it feels really good in hand. It's almost like a hybrid mix between, say, like an S25 Plus, which has the same screen size, 6.7 inches. So it's actually a bit of a smaller footprint than, of course, the 25 Ultra, but has some of the Ultra features. So it's almost like the related brother that is thinner, that does exercise, a little bit less chunky. So going around the rest of the device, we just have the on and off button / volume rockers on the one side. Because it's so thin, you only have room for the USB-C on the bottom. Of course, the S Pen is too chunky. That's still reserved for the S25 Ultra. And that's pretty much it. So it comes in 3 different colorways, 2 available just in Canada. So we had the silver, the titanium, of course, and the black. In the US, you can also grab it in icy blue, but keep in mind, this is called silver blue. So I didn't confirm if it was the exact color match. Samsung would probably keep it the same if it was the same name. So I'm thinking icy blue will maybe be slightly more pale, but you'll have to watch another vid. Some of my US friends, I'm sure, will have access to that. But around the outside, it's still made of titanium, so they haven't skimped out on the premium materials. And on the glass, it differs from the S25 Ultra, as this has Gorilla Glass Armor 2. The Edge has Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2 for enhanced durability, and on the back, just like this phone, it has a Gorilla Glass Victus 2. So the next big thing you'll notice is it only has the 2 camera modules, which I think is an interesting take because the entire S25 series, S25, S25 Plus, S25 Ultra, all have the 3. We are sacrificing the one that you would probably use the least, which is the telephoto. So it has a 12 megapixel ultra wide, 200 megapixel main. So the same flagship sensor that we find in the Ultra, but then it's weird because the ultra wide on the Ultra is 50 megapixels, bear with me. The ultra wide on the Edge is only 12 megapixels. So interesting that they didn't go all flagship level specs. It's the same ultra wide that we see on the just standard S25, S25 Plus. I would have honestly loved it. You can get rid of the telephoto. I barely use it, but the ultra wide is such a good camera. It is a shame that they could not fit that 50 megapixel like they have in the 25 Ultra. And I'm wondering, is that due to the form factor? Is that due to the thickness? I wouldn't think so, because the 200 megapixel is also a bit chunkier. Maybe it's to keep costs down, which comes to the next big thing. So pricing, Canadian dollars or Canadian pesos, it's sitting at $1,678 for the 256 gig version and $1,858 for the 512 gig version. I'll leave the kind of conversion rates for US pricing for all my homies down south down below, but it is obviously cheaper than the S25 Ultra. Canadian dollars, it's $250-ish cheaper. Is it worth it for having 2 less cameras, and the ultra wide isn't even the same one on this? For the rest of the specs, it's very similar. So it still has the same great display, slightly smaller, like I said, so 6.7 inches. It's 3120 by 1440. That's QHD+. It's dynamic AMOLED 2X. It's got the same processor, the Snapdragon 8 Elite. I'm assuming that's the one tuned for Galaxy, just like in the flagship. It's got 12 gigs of RAM, ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, and of course that option of the size that you're going for. And then the last thing of course, is the battery, which I think might make up your mind. So it's 3,900 milliamps. I am a little bit worried about it, just being a flagship user, being on my device, 8-9 hours of screen on time. I am hoping that will last till the end of the day. I'll of course give you my full review when I start using it a bit more, but say the iPhone 16 Pro, for example, it has more milliamp hours than that. iPhone does have its like iOS optimization, which does help it out a lot, but of course it is way less than the S25 Ultra, which I do find runs near like, 15-ish% by the end of the day, 10% if I'm really using it, if I'm playing a lot of Pokemon on it. I can open a booster on vid here. Will I get good video luck? Oh, that's just an uncommon at the end. I tried my best. I am really curious to see how it does last in kind of day-to-day use. But yeah, super cool device, really, really thin. It's like one of the first ultra thin smartphones that we've seen this year. I know that there are rumors of that new like iPhone Air that are coming out, so those will be like direct competitors. Let me know what you want to see covered in the full review. I left a couple sample photos when I was testing out the camera, but it was just quickly during the brief hands-on time. The last thing to talk about battery, so the S25 Ultra, for example, has 45-watt wired charging. The S25 Edge only has 25 watts, so it'll take a bit longer to charge the battery, but since it's a smaller cell, once again, I'll have to compare those when I get that in hand. Hope you guys enjoyed your very first look at the new, thinner, lighter brother. Is that what I said? A little less chunky of a dude, and I'll catch the rest of you in one of my next ones. Peace.